Hello everyone. Today I'll be teaching you how to make my origami dragons. They're same base as a design I found online, but I make the details my own a little bit. So first of all, you want to make sure your hands are clean and dry. It's very important so the paper doesn't stick to you and you don't get anything gross stuck to it. So first up, we're going to prepare the base for our dragon. You can see I've already got one fold in place on this piece of paper. This was just to make it a square, but you can go ahead and fold that now. Now what we want to do, first of all, is pick a side of our paper that's going to be up. I'm going to use this as my up, and this is going to be my bottom side. There are two different kinds of folds we can make here. They are called mountain and valley folds. A mountain fold is just like this, when the fold makes a little mountain, and then a valley fold is just the opposite, where it makes a valley. So we're going to set our paper so our first fold is a mountain fold, and that fold is this corner to this corner, just like that. And we press our crease. Our second fold is going to be a valley fold between the other two corners. Now these first steps, it's very important to be precise because any mistakes here will cascade through the whole project. And when I'm done with a fold like this, I like to press it down and then crease it between my thumb fingernail and my pointer finger, just like that, to get it nice and flat. Alright, so we have that folded and we can unfold it now. We should have two folds going opposite directions. Now what we're going to do is take the edges on both sides and fold them into each other. We want both of these folds to be valley folds. I'm used to folding these in the air, but it is quite a bit easier to smooth them down onto a table, get more precise folds that way. So while you're learning, I would suggest doing that. Alright, so once we fold and unfold both of those valley folds, we should have a piece of paper that looks just like this, divided into 8 separate little triangles. What we want to do is we want to find these ridge lines that we created earlier. Nope. Actually, I'm going to flip this over. What we want to do is find these diagonal ridge lines we created earlier, hold on to these points, and we're just going to collapse the whole thing in on itself. This is called the crane base. I'm going to do it a few more times so we can see, because this is one of the trickiest steps. On these ridges, they're just going to collapse in to make one square, just like this. Yeah, this is called the crane base. It is the base for a lot of different origami projects, including, you might have guessed, the paper crane. Alright, so we're going to want a piece that looks just like this. It's going to have a top closed side and a bottom open side. I'm going to make sure I keep the closed side facing away from me and the open side facing towards me so that we can know our orientation, because it is very important. Also, I like to just smooth down these folds. So what we're going to do now is take this open side edge and we're going to fold it into our middle crease. This one is It's a little bit harder to be precise, so we want to make sure we've got a close eye on it. And then press it down. I'm going to seal that in with my fingernail. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Fold this edge into the middle. And we want to make as nice a point at the bottom here as possible, because that will carry over into the details of our dragon when we're done. Alright, so when we're done, we should have a nice diamond shape like this, sort of a kite. Then we're going to go ahead and open up those folds we just made. This is another tricky step, so watch closely. I'm going to put my thumb under just the first layer here, just one layer of paper. I'm going to put my finger right here, and I'm going to pull it all the way up. This will take some negotiating with the paper. We want to open it up, and we want to fold it back. It'll become a diamond just like this. If you have trouble with this step, what you can do is go back to our kite and fold our short point in to make that crease, and that fold is where the diamond's going to open up. But yeah, don't be afraid to wrestle the paper a little bit at this point, as long as you're gentle about it. Don't want any rips or tears or misplaced creases. So we can open that up, and what I like to do at this point is go ahead and fold that back over and down, and then press it on down. It's a lot easier to get the folds pressed where they need to be when it's like this. And then I'm gonna just open it up again. So at this point, we should have a piece of paper looking like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over, and we're gonna work on the other side. Now what we're gonna do now, we still have the closed edge at the top and the open edge at the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing we just did on the other side, but in reverse. So we're going to take this closed edge and fold it into the middle. Just like this. And we're doing it on the other side too. And then let's seal those in with our fingernail. Very good. And we should have a piece of paper. Oh, I want to make that point as perfect as I can. Should have a piece of paper that looks just like this. We have our upside down kite on top of our diamond. What I'm going to do at this point, just because it's a little bit easier, I'm just going to spin it around 180 degrees, and that'll help us in some precise folds we're going to do in just a minute. What we're going to do is open these sides back up. Let's start one at a time. We can open one up, and what we need to do here is get our finger into this little pocket all the way to the edge, and I'm going to use my finger in here to pop out this fold that we just made. Pop it out, and we're going to press it down. So I'm going to show that again. We have our kite right here. We're going to open it up, get our finger underneath this crease, pop it out, and then press it down. So we have a new kite shape created right here. And press it down. And we're going to do the same thing with this other one. We open it up. Going to get my finger in there to pop out this fold. Oh, got to go all the way to the base. And press it down. This is another kind of tricky step. So don't be afraid to wrestle the paper a little bit. But you want it to be nice and precise. So we'll have a kite shape here. You can open it like a book. We have this kite shape with no edge in the middle. And then open the book, and we have a another kite shape just like the first one. So starting on one of these kites with this edge in the middle, we're going to take these short edges and fold them into the middle, just like this. Short edge into the middle and crease it down, and short edge into the middle and crease it down. I'm gonna seal these in with my thumbnail, and we've got this right here. All right, our next step, we're going to open these up. This one is kind of extra tricky, so make sure you're following along. Okay. I'm gonna flip it back upside down. I'm gonna get my thumb underneath in this pocket, and I'm going to press in on both sides to reverse those folds we just made. And I'm gonna press this into a point. So again, just gonna undo it. We have this diamond right here. We open it up, put our thumb underneath the middle here, reverse those folds, and sort of wrestle them until they've got a point, just like this. Now next what we're going to do is just press this point down, all the way until it's flat, and we will have a shape that looks just like this with our little flap right here. All right, so now we're gonna turn the page in our book. We've got this shape, and one more time to our other kite, and we're gonna do exactly the same thing. Short edge to the middle, keep the point nice and precise, and then crease, and short edge to the middle, and crease. I'm gonna seal those in. These ones need to be well set. Then we're gonna open back up. Oh, I flipped it upside down. Get our thumb in there and just finagle these edges in to make a point. We fold it up. We want this point to lie as close to the central fold in here as we can. All right, then I'm just gonna press everything down, seal everything in. Very nice. And it's very important at this point that this little flap points towards the middle of the origami. If it's facing the other way, it'll get weird later. All right, so what we want to do now with our paper just like this, we open up our book to the middle. We should have this diamond shape with no edges on it. And we're going to take our central point right here, and we're just going to fold it down just like that. All right, and at this point I'm going to flip my paper 180 degrees again. We really want to press this down. It'll be a little tough because there are so many layers of paper here at the moment. All right, then what we're going to do, get our finger up here just to the first point, one layer of paper, and we're going to fold that right into the center. We want the point to line up with the center. And we're going to give that a nice crease. So just like that. Seal it in, and then we unfold. We just need that crease there. Now we're going to take this edge, this flat edge of just the first layer, and we're going to fold it over to that crease we just made, just like this, and we're going to seal that in, and we're going to undo that just so we have a crease there, and we're going to do the same with this other edge. Seal it in, and then unfold. All right, now with this shape right here, we're gonna go ahead and pick it up and fold the whole thing in on itself. A nice valley type fold right here. All right, just like that. And now we're gonna flip it over here, and this will be the beginnings of our dragon. Now one edge should have 3 points like this, and the other end should have 1. We're going to start working on the end with 3 points. So with our paper flat like this, we're going to reach for the top point. We're going to fold this edge to this crease that we have in our paper, just like this. All right, now I'm going to slip my thumb in this pocket, and we're going to press it down so that this edge is on top of this edge, and it'll create a kite shape. I'll show you. So we open it up and press it down. And we want to keep it aligned. And this will become one of our wings. We're going to do the same on the other side with the other flap. Here we go. We fold it to the central crease. We seal it in a little bit. Then we slip our thumb in. We open it up and we press it down. Just like that. And you can see we have our little wings starting to take shape. They're not quite done yet. All right. So with one of the wings up like this is another tricky step. We're going to try and take this edge right here and get it into the middle. Watch this. So we work our thumb in here. We want to fold this wing in half, but while we're doing it, press this edge into the middle. Now these steps will create nice arms and legs for our dragon, but if they're a little too tricky for you right now, you can skip them. They're not super important, just some detail work, but I'll show you that again. So we take this edge, we open up our wing, and we press it down so that it lines up with the back of the wing. And then we're gonna open it back up. Now we're gonna do the same thing with this front edge of the wing. Slip a finger in there, open it up, and we fold the wing back and in half, and press down, and then open it back up. And this will be a more finalized wing shape. Let's go ahead and flip it over and do the same thing here. Slip our finger in, fold the wing in half while pressing down, and then open it back up. Slip our finger in, fold the wing in half while pressing down, flatten it out, and open it back up. All right, now we have 2 diamond-shaped wings, and we're going to start working on the tail. Now what we're going to do is open our dragon back up like this along that central fold, and we're going to take the tail and we're going to fold it up. Now before you make any creases, the goal is to have just a little straight edge right here. You see it? Just a little straight edge, and this will define the detail of our foot and of our tail. So once you get it somewhere you like, there's no perfect benchmark for this, but you want it very short. We're just going to make a little crease for our tail. I'll show you the other side. We should have a shape like this, a sort of weird like diamond cut. Okay, we're going to flip it over. Now this is a tricky step. We want to keep this fold where it is. We're not going to unfold it, but we want to fold back over it. And we want our second fold to line up with, you'll feel a little fold right here. We want it to line up with that. So we want to line it up and press down. This one takes some getting used to, but it defines all the detail in our tail, so it's very important. So I'll show you. From the side, we have a little accordion fold right there, you see? This is our first crease we made, and this is going to be our second one. And when they're down together, it should line up perfectly with the rest of our dragon's back. Alright, so now we're going to pick a nice place for some detail in the tail. This part is optional as well, but it's a very nice detail I like to add. So we're going to fold this back up again, make another crease. What I like to do is line this crease to be just below where this first crease ends up. So we're going to get a little extra space. We're going to make a nice crease. Alright, and we're going to do another accordion fold where we fold down. This one, we want it to be as close as possible to that first crease, but just a little bit off, just a tiny little zigzag right there, see? Almost hard to even see, but it is important, and we want it to be tiny, and it gives us this layered effect. Alright, and we're going to do that one more time. For this, I like to bring the point of the tail, oh, there we go, up near the wings. We want about halfway. We get a nice little fold there. This one's down to style. I like to keep it about the same length as the first one, but it's not super important exactly where it is. And we're going to make another accordion fold. Just like that. This should be what we're working with right now. I want to make sure all these accordion folds are pressed down. Alright, the next step can be a little tricky. We're going to close our dragon back up. Our tail should look like this. We're not going to be super aggressive about closing the dragon at the moment. Now I'm just going to put my fingers on this second tail section, and I'm going to twist them up and around to give the tail some shape, and I'm going to press down when they're as far as I can get them. I'm going to do the same with the last section, twist it up and around, and press down. You can see we have a nice curving tail. Oh, and I usually make it 3 sections, but with one this big, we could get away with 4, but I'll leave it where it is. Alright, now we're going to work on the head. You can see on our head section here, we have these creases, and those we made earlier, and those are going to be our guide for the head. So what we want to do, I'm going to put my thumb here on this back crease and my finger inside the pocket, and I'm just going to flatten it out so we have a flat edge there. And following these creases that we made earlier, I'm just going to let them kind of take over. I'm going to pinch the neck, press them down, and first I'll fold it over like this, and then I'll fold it over the other way. Then I'll fold the head in half and press that down super hard so we have a shape like this. Alright, now from there we can wrestle it a little bit, get it to stick out. Just make sure when it's somewhere you want it, you can move it all over. When it's somewhere you want it, you seal in the edge it creates with your fingers. Alright, we're very close now. Now this is a little detail step that's going to keep the dragon closed. It's going to get the neck to hold the whole thing together so it doesn't spread open like this when you don't want it to. It's a little difficult, so again, it's kind of optional, but it's a good thing to do. So what we're going to do is take this edge right here, and we're going to try and get it under this edge into this pocket where my finger is right now. So the first step for that is we take this edge and we're going to fold it in as close to the center as we can get it. This will mess up your head a little bit, but don't worry, we can put it back easily. So we want to make a nice fold just like that underneath the head and give it a good grease. Seal it in. Alright, now we're going to take this edge and we're going to slip it in that pocket I showed you. So it should look just like that. It's a little hard to see, but we put the edge into this pocket between the leg and the neck. Gonna give it a good crease. Alright. Then I'm gonna take the other side and just fold it over along the outside to close up the neck and make it one solid piece. And again, your head's gonna get a little misaligned while we do this, but that is no problem at all. Alright. And give that a good seal in as well, and that will keep our neck closed so our dragon keeps its shape. Now I'm gonna pinch the neck with one hand and just readjust my head with the other so that it's nice and in shape. And what I like to do here is pinch in and give my dragon a little horn just by pulling the edge up. By pulling the edge up and folding it back over. This can get a little messy, but as long as you press it down when you're done, it tends to look pretty good. And again, you can wrestle it into whatever shape you want. There we go, a little dragon horn. Alright, we are just about done. The last thing we're going to do is fluff out the wings and then fold out the legs so that it can stand up on its own. Just like that. And this is our complete paper dragon. There we go. Alright. Thank you for watching. Hope you could follow along.